Welcome to Roscoe Squeeze Off the podcast. It's your boy Roscoe Squeeze Off. Alright, once again, it's the world's foremost authority on all things that matter. Just a dude riding around talking about sports. Well, I'm gonna do another versus today. I haven't done one in a while. And it's gonna be Russell Westbrook against Tracy McGrady. I happened to see this on one of those Facebook basketball groups, and I saw so many people that were saying Tracy McGrady over Russell Westbrook, and I don't see how. In my opinion, this would be Russell Westbrook, but let me make my argument. They both play, Tracy McGrady played 16 years. Now, I know his early years in Toronto, he didn't get much time. In his latter years, he was injured. But he had a good 9-10 year period there where he played a lot, and Russell Westbrook's had a good 10-year period where he's played. He's been in the league 13 years, and he's played more than that, but I'm, take away from injuries, things of that nature. But he's had a dominant maybe 10 years there. So I want to start with All-Star games. Tracy McGrady's made 7, Russell Westbrook has made 9. Now remember, Russell Westbrook making that 9 is amazing because he's in a crowded West where you got like Chris Paul and Steph Curry and Dame Lillard and Harden. You just got a lot of guard heavy play. So, good job there, just making 9 of them. They both been kind of weak in the playoffs. When I mean by that is as far as winning goes. Russell Westbrook actually had a good little period when he first started the league there with OKC and with Durant and Harden, and then just Durant by himself. But on their own, as the main guy of their teams in the playoffs, neither one has had anything really great, but I'll go over that in just a second. Let me start with the MVPs. Russell Westbrook has 1, Tracy McGrady has none. First team All-NBA, they both have 2. All-NBA team selections, Tracy McGrady has 7, Russell Westbrook has 9. Scoring leader in the league, I think we all think about Tracy McGrady as this great scorer, which he was. But Russell Westbrook has led the league in scoring twice, and so has Tracy McGrady. So they both have led the league twice. Assist leader, Russell Westbrook has led the league twice, and he looks like he's going to win it again this year. That'll make it 3 times, where Tracy McGrady has never led the league in such a category. Just points per game. I don't really like to go by that because Tracy McGrady had some injured years there, and like I said, at the beginning of his career, he was kind of second fiddle, then third fiddle to his own cousin Vince Carter in Canada. So he didn't get a lot of time in the beginning. So it goes by your overall career, which they have been 19.6 points per game, where Russell Westbrook is 23.2. But I won't hold that against him there. Rebounds per game, Russell Westbrook is 7.4, Tracy McGrady is 5.6. Assists per game, Russell Westbrook 8.5, Tracy McGrady 4.4. Steals per game, Russell Westbrook is 1.7, Tracy McGrady is 1.2, and then blocks 0.9 for Tracy and 0.3 for Russell. So stats, as we all know, Russell Westbrook is a stat stuffer phenomenon. So he's pretty much a clean slate across. So what I wanted to look at was just look at their best season. So, because what I saw in the group was a lot of people saying prime Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady at his best was better than Russell. Well, statistically, he was not. He did have 32.1 in 2003. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. The creation tool allows you to record and edit a podcast right from your phone, tablet, computer, what have you. Anchor will distribute the podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You make money right from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. All you have to do is download the Anchor app. Go to anchor.fm to get started. Once again, that's anchor.fm to get started making your own podcast today. So 32.1 points per game for Tracy McGrady and 32.6 points for Russell Westbrook. This is their best season. Tracy McGrady 2003, Russell Westbrook 2017. Their best season rebounding. Russell Westbrook is actually this year. He's averaging 11.4. Tracy McGrady in 2002 averaged 7.9. Assists this year for Russell Westbrook 2021. He's averaging 11.4, and Tracy McGrady best year was 2007 at 6.5. Steals per game. Russell Westbrook in 2015 averaged 2.1. Tracy McGrady in 2005 averaged 1.7. And then Tracy McGrady does have him in blocks. In 2000 he averaged 1.9. Russell Westbrook in 2019 he averaged 0.5. Now, the argument that I was seeing online is even though Russell Westbrook puts up numbers, Tracy McGrady had more of an impact on the game. I disagree there as well. He was a bit of a scorer, and he made a lot of highlights. He can make guys look stupid. He could dunk on guys. So does Russell Westbrook, by the way. And he was a prettier player as far as his moves. You know, one of the keys to make why a lot of people love Jordan over LeBron is he was just a prettier player. And so I'll give Tracy McGrady. He's a prettier player than Russ. Russ is more powerful for a point guard. He's extremely powerful. But in the playoffs, I don't think either one of them is as impactful as you would like. Points per game, average per playoffs, and playoffs is a great way to tell because you're playing your best, you're trying your hardest, you're giving it your all, and you're playing the best competition. And neither one of them have had great winning success in the playoffs, but points per game, Tracy McGrady is 22.2 in the playoffs. And Russell Westbrook is 24.8. Rebounds, 5.7 Tracy McGrady in the playoffs, Russell Westbrook, 7. Assists, 5 exactly for Tracy McGrady, 7.7 for Russell Westbrook. Steals, Russell Westbrook, 1.8, Tracy McGrady, 1.1. And blocks, 0.9 for Tracy McGrady, 0.3 for Russell Westbrook. Tracy McGrady has not touched him anywhere stat-wise. And wins-wise, there's nothing to suggest that he has done anything better either. He has not won more games. He didn't make his team win more games. And you may say, Russell Westbrook, the same thing. But Russell Westbrook has had more success. And you may say it's because other guys, things of that nature. His teammates, he had better teammates. And that's true. We're always going to wonder what would have happened if Grant Hill never got hurt and got a chance to play in Orlando with Tracy McGrady, as that was the original plan. But my thing is, neither one of them had a great impact on winning. It just is what it is. And I'm not saying they didn't make their teams win, but it wasn't like, you put LeBron on the team and you're pretty much in the finals, as it's been for the last 10, 11 years. Neither one of these guys are that. They can help their team get to the playoffs, but by themselves, without another superstar on the team, pretty much a first-round exit is what seems to happen to both of these guys. So, being that neither team carries their team to a great peak as far as wins goes, the next thing or has a great impact on the game, the next thing you have to go to is the statistics, in my opinion. And the statistics shows that Russell Westbrook is the better player in pretty much every statistic. Even scoring, career-wise, he has the lead on, but even at their peak, it was less than a point difference. For T-Mac's way in their peak season. So the rebounding, the assists, the steals are overwhelmingly in favor of Russell Westbrook. And I just think his triple-double and defense and better with steals is more of a determining factor than T-Mac's prettiness or highlight-worthy plays. So, in my opinion, it's not even that hard of a competition. But I think, historically speaking, Russell Westbrook is a better player than Tracy McGrady. I don't think it's blasphemous to say so. I think it's quite obvious when you look at the statistics And if I had to pick one to be on a team, I would definitely go with Russell Westbrook myself over Tracy McGrady. Even though Tracy McGrady is probably a top 30 player of all time. I've heard people say top 15, top 20. That's exaggerating. And actually, top 30 may be exaggerating. It may be more in the 40 area. Because, I mean, who are you putting Tracy McGrady over? Is he better than Carmelo? That's a good show. That's a good one to do. Is he better than Ray Allen? That's a good one to do. You know, I don't believe he's better than Russell Westbrook. Now, Russell Westbrook's coach came out this week and said that Russell Westbrook's the number 2 point guard of all time. I would disagree with that, but he's definitely in my top 10. I don't know about top 5, but definitely top 10. And we may do a list on that soon. But as far as this comparison goes between Tracy McGrady and Russell Westbrook, I take Russell Westbrook hands down with ease. To me, it's not much of a decision. Let me know what you guys think, man. Check me out. Once again, this is Roscoe Squeeze Off from the Roscoe Squeeze Off the podcast. World's foremost authority in all things that matter. Just a dude talking about sports, riding around. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.